Ever heard of the ADHD tax? Hi, I'm Dr. Ari Tuckman. I'm a licensed psychologist. And today we're going to be talking about some of the internet's biggest ADHD terms and trends. What's the difference between ADD versus ADHD? This is a really common question. This comes up all the time. Some people with ADHD don't have any of those hyperactive symptoms. So it makes sense in that case to say that they have ADD, right? It sounds correct. Technically speaking, ADD was replaced in the official diagnostic manual by ADHD back in the 80s. So if we're going to be really technical, the official name would be ADHD predominantly inattentive presentation. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue as easily, so I understand why people still use ADD and ADHD interchangeably sometimes. Most important thing is, if it helps you understand yourself better, if it helps guide you towards more effective strategies and more effective treatments, that's really the thing that matters the most. How are people with ADHD different from people who don't have ADHD? So I have a saying that ADHD doesn't invent new problems. It just exacerbates the universal ones. We all get distracted sometimes. We all forget things. We all procrastinate, right? This is not a unique experience only to people with ADHD. The big difference is folks with ADHD have these struggles more often. It might have a bigger impact on their life. It might be more visible to others. They might have more emotional, stronger feelings about it. That's really the big difference. It's not a difference in kind, it's a difference in degree. Does ADHD cause time blindness? So first of all, time blindness, it's kind of an unofficial term, but I think it's also a term that we all know what it means. Folks with ADHD have a harder time sort of seeing time, right? It's harder to sort of see how long things are going to take and just generally to sort of manage tasks in relation to time. Obviously, lots of other things can affect your ability to sort of see and be aware of time. So anxiety or depression, sleep deprivation, having a cold. But in ADHD, it's a much more sort of consistent, pervasive part of your life experience. Time just feels much more slippery to you, perhaps, and therefore planning is harder, coordinating tasks across time is harder. It impacts your ability to get stuff done in lots of different ways. What is the ADHD tax? Okay, so obviously there's not an actual tax on ADHD, but effectively there is. It's all those ways that having ADHD makes your life more expensive. So things like the late fees you pay because you forget to pay a bill on time, or having to buy a charger for your phone because you can't find the one that you have, or you don't have it with you when you need it. So when you add all of this up, it's just yet another way that ADHD impacts your life. ADHD does not end at the end of the school day. It does not end at high school graduation. It comes with you into adulthood for most people. Adding all of this up, it's expensive to have ADHD, and it's all the more reason to really try to understand what is going on with this. Now, how many of these ADHD terms have you already heard? Let's get a discussion going in the comments. What does it mean to mask with ADHD? Masking is to put on the appearance of being neurotypical, to look like you don't have ADHD, or as some people might even put it, to look normal, as if that's like one thing. There is a benefit to it, right? It benefits you at work if your coworkers see you as someone who is kind of predictable and reliable and consistent. It might benefit you with friends in romantic relationships. The problem is it can come at a really high cost. It takes a lot of energy. So for example, if you work 2 or 3 extra hours at home at the end of a workday to finish the project you didn't finish during the workday, it's helpful in terms of your relationship with your boss, but it comes at a really high cost to yourself. This is just yet another way that ADHD can carry a cost to those who have it. What is ADHD rage? We often think of ADHD in terms of the cognitive symptoms, so distractibility, forgetfulness, running late. But there's a big part of ADHD that's also emotional. People with ADHD, they often feel their feelings more strongly. If you're excited and you're happy, you are a lot of fun to be around and people are gonna love it. But if you're irritated, you're annoyed, you're angry, that can have a big impact on relationships. It's not just that your anger may spike quickly, also, those strong feelings can kind of drop off quickly, which can also be confusing for family or romantic partners who have not yet moved on as quickly as perhaps you have. Part of this is also just generally managing your stress level. The more you feel like your life is chaotic and overwhelming, the more of a hair trigger you're going to have, the stronger your emotional reactions are going to be. So there's also that way that ADHD leads to these big, angry, rageful reactions. Is there such a thing as high-functioning ADHD? I mean, technically sort of, but sort of not really. Do some people have more significant or less significant ADHD symptoms? Sure. But how you perform is really a function of what are all of your abilities and strengths that you have from within you, what are the supports in the world around you, and what are the demands being placed upon you. The better the match is between the demands and your abilities and supports, the higher your functioning is going to be. So one of the implications of this is if you come from an area that has a good educational system and you have a healthcare system that is well tuned into ADHD, if you have a family who's also tuned in and is willing to spend resources, then you're going to function at a much higher level. If you have, a position as a CEO and you have a number of assistants, again, you're going to function very well. It's really about the fit between demands and abilities that makes the difference in terms of what your level of functioning is. What is body doubling? It sounds like kind of a cloning experiment gone horribly wrong, but actually body doubling is an old ADHD coping strategy. As you work on your task, there's somebody in the same room who's over there working on whatever they're doing. They're not helping you, they're not specifically keeping you on track, you're not collaborating on a project together, but just there's something about having another person there that just serves as a reminder, I think, for all of us to sort of stay on track. We are just a bit more focused and productive when there's somebody else there. Some people have even started doing this kind of virtually where, you're on your computer working on your stuff, somebody else is on the other side of their webcam working on their stuff, and then at the end of a certain amount of time, you sort of check in and say like, hey, so did you get done what it is that you need to do? So body doubling is a great way to stay accountable and maybe just get a little bit more done. So if you haven't tried it yet, maybe give it a try. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, we actually have a lot more content like this on our channel, so make sure to subscribe. By doing so, you can help our mission at Understood, which is to make sure that 70 million people with learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia, can thrive.